Welcome, one and all, to your Peace Talk. This is episode 24, and this is, of course, is a platform I use to interview and get to know other spiritualists and other YouTube personalities and just other people who like to share their talents and gifts. This is episode 24, and this episode is Pisces Moon Goddess. How you doing, April?
Hey, doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm honestly happy to have another episode of this up. It's been a while since I did the last one, so I'm pretty excited because you are awesome. I still remember the chart reading that you did for me on your YouTube channel, which I still think is awesome with Aubrey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Aubrey's awesome too. She's cool. You should maybe interview her sometime.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I have issues getting in touch with her though. I feel like she kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth for a little bit. Like a few Capricorns I know just kind of like went completely low right now, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's probably because of Pluto making them, hide away.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, yeah. How are you doing this week? Like, how's this energy been treating you personally? I remember you recently posted about Mars being in your first house right now. You having to deal with that.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I like to be very honest. I mean, I like to say everything is grand. There's a positive and negative to transits because there is. But it's really hard to not be an asshole right now, to be honest. It's very hard. I've been called a not so nice person. I'm too aggressive. I'm too this, but that's the thing though, is like, I mean, we have control over how we use the energy that's given to us. So, I try my best to keep myself under control and to keep things in mind. Like, sorry.
I was about to say that was great timing.
Gosh. Oh, my husband needs the keys to his truck, so he needs to interrupt our interview very quickly. Are you going to edit this?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Do what you gotta do.
All right. But anyway, yeah, so it's really hard to not be too aggressive. But I'll tell you one thing. It is helping me out with getting a lot of things done and staying motivated, especially in work and career and everything. And yeah, I've been like up earlier, which, I'm a Taurus and a Pisces. Getting up early is not my thing. I'm sorry. I'm sure you might be able to relate,
This morning.
Yeah. I know all about that. I was like, no, you did not make the contour and highlight and go into makeup and wardrobe for hours for nothing. We're going to have this interview. You better wake up.
I'm so glad we did. I mean, look, you look beautiful. Actually,
thank you.
If you don't mind, could you, because I know the people watching are so curious. You just mentioned it right now, but what are your sun, moon, and rising again?
Well, my moon is Pisces, obviously. My sun is in Taurus, and my rising is Scorpio. So yeah, that's why I was telling you about Mars and Scorpio. It's in my first house, and it's hard not to be like,
Scorpio rising are really interesting. So I'm gonna get back to your moon, because that's definitely very interesting to talk about, at least just moon sign dynamics. But let's start off with, who are you? Like, for those that aren't aware, April is a very gifted astrologer. I love tuning into her because she's able to take several transits and just add a dose of reality to them, so you could actually see how it plays out in your real life. So, how would you describe your channel to people who are new to you? And then who are you as an astrologer and a person?
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. Well, that's actually my mission and my motive is to show how not just how things affect you on like the broad, you know, higher scale of like, well, this is a time period of your life where you're going to, you know, do this long-term thing. But I also like to show people this is how the transit actually feels. These are the days that you're going to feel more intense. You're going to feel more sad, maybe even feel like extra hungry, you know, and cravings for stuff, or even just little things like that. Or, you know, you might feel more beautiful or feel ugly and like hiding away. Like I like to show people that because of the fact that, especially being like a very fixed person myself. Go ahead, babe. Sorry. Especially being a very fixed person myself, before I was really, really into astrology, I would think of things as being permanent all the time. You know, if things were not going my way, if I was having a few bad days in a row, I would feel like, oh my God, why me? Everything sucks. My life just sucks and my life is over. But you know what? Now that I've studied transits, I can see, thank you, love. I can see that it's temporary. And you know, the term "this too shall pass." A lot of people who have a lot of fixed energy don't believe in that. You know, they're just like, no, everything's permanent and it sucks. But I'm like, you know what? No, it's only going to last you a couple days or a week or maybe even like a month or two, but you can get through it. And it's up to you. It's your choice. You know, it's energy that's being given to you. And we are all masters of our own energy and the energy that's placed in front of us. We can manipulate it however we want to turn it into whatever we want in life, you know? So that's something that I really want to put out there to people so that they don't get too down, you know, down on themselves and down on life. And they know, okay, you know what? I'm going to go within, use my own willpower to get through this and make the best of it. So that's what my channel, that's one of the motivations and the, you know, behind my channel and me putting videos out there. And also, I mean, I love comedy and I love beauty and like everyday stuff. You know, I like to show how astrology does apply into all of those things. It really does. I'm sure you know that too. You put out a lot of comedic videos, which I absolutely laugh my ass off. You know,
Thank
and
you.
I did one of them, and I plan on continuing a series. I did one making fun of Aries. I want to make fun of all the signs, but it's really hard to get actors. So I think I'm gonna have to start buying some wigs.
Yeah, there comes that moment in everyone's time where it's like, I might have to pull Eddie Murphy.
Hey, I love Eddie Murphy. So I'm down with that. Goonie Goo Goo. Come on now.
Yeah. It gets really fun when you lose yourself in the multiple, and then you have the Pisces moon, so you'll definitely be able to vibe out like the different personalities for sure. Real quick question: what sign is your husband? Pretty curious.
Well, he's a Capricorn rising. He's a Gemini moon and Cancer sun.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're both seventh house people.
Yeah, that's very interesting, especially the moon sign combo too.
Yeah, they square each other, which it's very apparent in our relationship. But you know what? The seventh house energy really helps to balance out anything that's like a challenge, you know? Like I do get it.
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to deny that the Gemini part is not a challenge for me being a fixed person, but also at the same time I'm mutable, so I can kind of, you know, get down with the being flexible with things sometimes. Yeah, so it works out.
that's cool. Yeah, I noticed is even though squares bring conflict, I noticed they could be binding because of that conflict sometimes. Binding in the sense where, of course, if you have other aspects like you mentioned to make it work out, like your seventh house sun, it almost makes the square work better, where like you now play off those conflict or differences to like really create a cohesive whole. That's not really the word I wanted to say, but yeah, it just kind of struck as interesting to me because like moon sign compatibility is important, but a lot of people would run away if they saw their moon squared, and it's important to know that, you know, it's not the end if like you have a aspect like that. But yeah, what got you into astrology? What got you into this practice?
Well, you know what? There's always, I've always had a feeling and a knowing that there's something to this. There's something to this. I mean, even when I was really young, and I would go to the store with my mom, and you know, in line at the grocery store, they have those last second things that they try to get you to buy. And there's those little, I don't know if they have them anymore because this is like in ancient times, but they used to have like these little scrolls that you would roll out, and it has your monthly horoscope for every sun sign. And that's how I discovered I was a Taurus. Like when I was a kid, and I would read these things, and you know, I call this hotline. This is before the internet, that had your horoscope every day for free. And I don't know. I just always felt like there is something to this. There really is. And then, you know, when I became an adult, I started really learning about the sun signs, to the point to where I would be around somebody and they could just like do a little action or say a little phrase or word, and I'd be like, "You're a blah 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 sign, aren't you?" And they'd be like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I just know this stuff." Like, you know, for example, I would hear people say, "Well, how come I wasn't invited?" And I'd be like, "Oh my God, aren't you a Cancer?" "Yeah, how did you know?" Because Cancers always cry about not being invited some damn where. That's why. So I just noticed that I had that gift for kind of picking up on things about people and in relation to the signs. And I just kept digging deeper and deeper, like there's more to it, there's more to it. So about like 6 years ago or so, I started really getting into reading the charts and all the planets, and just my obsession grew from there. And I absolutely love it. I don't want to do anything else for the rest of my life. So it's dope.
That is so real. I can so relate to you on just intuitively picking up on people's signs. Because when I started like really practicing, I would just go out there and just guess people's signs, and I would get it so wrong. But to this day, like it's so weird. It's like just like you said, someone will do a little something, and it's not like a mental registration that tells me their sign. It's like something whispers their sign to me. It's every time I guess their sign right or know their sign, it's never been like a mental thing like I knew. It was just kind of like I picked up on the energy somehow. It's hard to put into words, but I'm
That
glad
is
you mentioned that.
crazy. Yeah, that is crazy, because you know what? I don't usually like to say that, because people will say, "Oh my God, you have demons or, you know, evil spirits whispering in your ear." If I say something is telling me, actually telling me their sign. And then for a
Yeah,
while, I felt like the biggest weirdo, because I'm like, I hear voices. And you know, when you tell people you hear voices, they're like, "Oh, well, maybe you need to go see a psychiatrist, like take some pills or something, you know." But wow, it's nice to know I'm not the only one. I actually do hear their signs
yeah,
when I see someone, when I'm around someone. Within the first like 5 minutes, like I hear them speak. I watch their gestures and pick up on things about their personality. Then I hear this sign, that sign, this sign in my head, and then I start to put their chart together in my head. And if it's not like their sun sign or moon or rising, it's usually like an aspect, or maybe they have like moon conjunct Neptune, and that's why I hear Pisces. Or you know, it's just like
yeah.
putting together the puzzle. But you can feel their energy, and you know the energies of every sign. So it's like, oh, I know you, I know how you are, but how do I put it into words? How do I tell you without you thinking that I'm strange or I'm like a witch or something, you know?
Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned that too. I really do think it's of course it's purely energetic, but um, there's this certain, and as someone who's actually examined this for a while and seen a lot of charts, do you ever notice too, like you just start to notice similarities in certain signs that you didn't notice before? Like they just kind of start to look the same even in appearance, even though they're completely different people, but they're like both Aries per se, and they just their energy is just so similar. They look alike now in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I always notice and pick up on patterns like that, you know, with people. And yeah, even with the appearance thing, like totally, it's totally prominent to me now, like totally apparent, I mean, sorry. Um, but yeah, just like I've noticed that Aquarian people with a heavy like Aquarius or Uranus appearance, they have something going on with their eyes. Like sometimes they have like more larger eyes, or they have this
Yeah.
look in their eyes. It's a little like alien almost, you know,
Yeah,
because have you noticed that? It's crazy,
I
huh?
did. Like not every Aquarius, but almost every Aquarius, they're gonna have like this like not greenish look in their eyes, but the pupil of their eyes is it's not really normal, and it almost
Yeah.
looks alien. And I'm like, you're an Aquarius, right? And they're like, yeah, I know. And it's like,
Yeah, right? I know. They're always going to say, I know. I already knew
yeah,
that. Tell me something I don't know.
right. When I do the said no Aquarius ever video, I'm gonna just be like, oh, I don't know the answer to that. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. It would be like a recurring theme, that video.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see.
So, yeah, borrowing back on the moon side, you'd definitely be the perfect person to ask this to. Do you really resonate when they say when they say that the woman embodies her moon sign more? I know Taurus is also a feminine energy, but would you say that women are more of their moon sign and men are more of their sun sign, or are there usually exceptions to that rule? Or is it sometimes it depends like how that person's feeling or what day it is?
Well, I mean, from my vision, I don't really see, so far in my studies, I haven't really seen, you know, men or women like it playing out by gender, being significant by gender. I mean, I see
Mm-hmm.
everything. I see the moon sign of men in the men. I see the sun sign of the women in the women. Like I see all of the placements in the planetary, you know, positions and signs, like as a whole, like in their whole chart as that person. I don't really separate by gender a lot, especially like, you know, knowing now that there's a lot of transgender or people that associate themselves with being more of a gender than what they were born with. I mean, it gets all, you know, mixed in. So to me, I don't really make it a point to separate it by gender like that. Only if it's like, you know, a very masculine person is interested in dating, but it depends on if they're male or female. I mean, of what I'm gonna look at for them, you know. But yeah, with the moon signs, I don't really do gender specific interpretations of them. Not really, because you know, I look at, like, I have a lot of people in my household and I know all of their charts in detail, like all the transits for them all the time, and I see how everything affects them by sun, moon, and ascendant, whether they're male or
Mm.
female. So yeah, it's not if anything significant to me.
All right, great answer. Um, Another thing you mentioned that was really important. I mean, I'm sure most prominent astrologers kind of just know this in the back of their head, but I just didn't really I didn't really hear it so eloquently put until you, and that's the square between Saturn and Neptune. And I've always believed that like it's going to bring a lot of, you know, skeptical viewpoints around stuff like this, or even towards stuff that are fake, like all the people who believe in Facebook posts that they see without checking facts. I'm sure are getting overly scrutinized right now. But yeah, could you speak more on that? Where do you see that going? Because I feel like people like us will definitely have to stand up for what we believe in more, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Since the Saturn Neptune square began forming, I have been challenged more by people, you know, with people asking me more in-depth questions about astrology, or just coming back at me with rebuttals and, oh, well, what if the signs have changed over the years and all that, you know, all that fun stuff that we
Mm-hmm.
get told. um, but yeah, just like you said, you know, it's gonna be, to me, it's like this, like Saturn, you know, is a ruling planet of Capricorn, and Pisces, Neptune is a ruling planet of Pisces. So it's like, imagine a Capricorn and a Pisces having a conversation. And I know you're a Capricorn moon, I'm a Pisces moon, and we're conversing just fine right now about this subject.
Yeah.
But that's when, you know, you take the whole charts into consideration. But just with the transits, it's like you just isolate those two energies. It's like
Mhm.
Neptune and Pisces want to say, you know what? I just intuitively know this. but we don't always know how to explain in detail in earthly terms where we get the information from. But it doesn't mean that we're stupid. It doesn't mean that we believe in just any old thing. Like, we really have a strong intuition and just intuitively know. It's like the Pisces telling that to a Capricorn. And a Capricorn is so practical and based on the material world. They're going to look around for material proof. Show me the proof. Where is it? Can you produce like a degree that shows me that you studied this? Can you produce, you know, some tangible item in your hand that proves that what you're saying is true? Can you make something appear right in front of me so that I see that what you're saying is real? And then Pisces is like, I can't do that. I just have my knowledge of here that comes from up there. The Capricorn is going to be like, really now? You're an idiot. You're a complete idiot. You'll believe anything. Just
verbatim.
be gone with you. So I feel like, you know, and then with Saturn being in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a sign that's all about truth, and it's very fiery about the truth. Like, it seeks the truth, and when it finds it, it like spits it out with like hot fire, you know, like it doesn't hesitate to tell you and fire it out at you. So definitely spiritual people were going to be challenged, and yeah, fakes and phonies are going to be revealed. And I'm sure you've encountered some of them in your lifetime. I've had a lot of them come up to me and just say, oh, if you pay me $180, I'll remove all the negative energy from your life. Oh, you know, I see your love life spiraling downhill, darling. Pay me some money and I will make it okay for you and all better. Yeah, those people, they're gonna get checked big time. And I can't wait. I really have a disdain, a very strong hatred for people like that, because they give people like us, who are the real deal, who really study our craft, really practice it with like good intentions and no evil. You know, we really just want to help people out and put really accurate information out there. They gave us a bad look and a bad name, you know, and then so to where I feel like I can't just openly tell a lot of people, yes, I'm an astrologer, because they're going to be like, pfft, because of all those people that give us a bad name. So I'm hoping that by the end of this transit, that there will be some more truth brought to light about how real, you know, Neptunian energy is, you know, and including the study of metaphysics, astrology, tarot, angel cards, psychics who are actually real psychics, you know, not no LaToya Jackson fake psychics, you know what I mean? Like the real deal. Like, people are going to start to see us and see the truth that, wow, there is really something to this. You know, I'm hoping that this transit brings it. But yeah, the fake's going to get checked, honey.
Yeah, trial by fire, I totally agree with. I mean, at the end of the day, good work will speak for itself. And I feel like anyone still doubting is willingly keeping their eyes closed. There are going to be some people who just deny the truth, even when it's in front of their face. But yeah, as far as that square is concerned, oh crap. Yeah, as far as the square is concerned, I totally resonate with what you said. You nailed that completely. I want to make a video about that too, just to nail the how the dynamic really works, because Neptune and Pisces, I feel, isn't really even trying to explain. Neptune and Pisces is just, this is my intuition, damn it, like you should listen to it. I don't have to come down there to that lower earthly realm and then make sense out of nonsense. And then Saturn and Sag is like, I won't believe it unless I see it. So it's like doomed. But actually, I feel like a lot of miracles will happen throughout this transit. So we'll see. Let's play a short game real quick.
Okay.
We'll ask each other 3 questions. You can start. You'll ask me one. I'll answer. I'll ask you one. You answer, and then you ask, and then we'll kind of go like that.
Cool. I'm all about games and fun. So let's do this.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I only wrote down a couple, so I'll probably have to just improvise. It's all good. But anyway, so you know what? I've noticed, and I'm sure if you look at a lot of charts, you'll notice too, that there are a lot of energies that are very strong within families,
Mm,
especially within like immediate family, like mom, dad, siblings, you know, like the, for example, in my family, in my blood relation family, there's a lot of Pisces, Scorpio, Virgo, Leo. It's like so strong, those signs. What are the dominant energies that you've noticed in your own family, and how have they affected like your family dynamics?
all right, that's a really great question. I would say the most dominant trait that I noticed is the moon signs. Everyone in my family, except my mom and I, have mutable moons. My dad has a Virgo moon, my sister has a Sag moon, and my other sister has a Gemini moon. And then me and my mom are Geminis with Capricorn moons, which is weird. We're like literal twins. Our north nodes are like completely opposite each other too. It's weird. But I would say other than that, there, I mean, both my mom and dad were born in the generation where, let's see, Neptune was in Scorpio and Pluto was in Virgo. So they kind of complete our outer planet trines. But yeah, I would say the dominant energy would be that mutable energy. And it plays out pretty interestingly because the Sag moon sister gets along well with my dad, who's an Aries sun and a Virgo moon, and the Sag moon is a Scorpio, and then the Cancer with the Gemini moon more gets along well with my mom. So I would say, and then of course me, I'm like either or, right? But and then both my Cancer and Scorpio sister growing up, they were like mortal enemies, but their moons are opposite, so they would like beef and then make up and then beef and then it's interesting. But I'd get my popcorn when they fight and stuff. But other than
Start sipping your tea.
yeah, yeah, exactly. This was back in the day before World Star. Otherwise, I'd be that dude. World Star. But yeah, I would say the dominant theme would be because the energy is really spread out, but I would say that the mutable energy in the family kind of interplays with each other, and we're always like, it's funny, like we're always firm on our own thing, but we're always like not flip flopping, but we're able to really kind of have an open mind about things, as stubborn as we can be at that. We're not really the most communicative family though, because we're doing our own thing. But yeah, it's interesting that there always is that like mutual understanding at the end of the day. That was a really great question though. I really like when you I love when you read like family charts and you start to see like how you just start to see certain transits that are like, this can't be coincidence. You know what I mean? Like this is just
Right.
really awesome how like all the energies intertwine. I guess my question for you would be how do you feel all this Capricorn energy is affecting the Neptune and Uranus and Cap people?
Well, I mean, there's different ways because Neptune and Uranus. I mean, they're outer planets, and outer can be a little more like weird.
Yeah.
So, with all the Capricorn transits to your like weirdo planets, I think it's bringing out the inner weirdo. But at the same time, I mean, it's not like negative. It's like it's highly creative. I think it's helping Capricorn people, or people that have those outer planets in Capricorn. It's bringing out more of like a creative side, an intuitive side. And I know that's hard for Capricorn, just isolating the energy of Capricorn. It's not intuitive or creative. It's very solid, but I think it's kind of pushing them to kind of like break away just for a little while the transits are happening from their like stern, steady Capricorn, let me just march along on the same trail with the big bricks on my back because it's my duty. They might be venturing off a little bit of that trail and like, ooh, what's over here? hey, what's over there? Oh, there's some weird people over there, but I think I'm gonna go hang out anyway, just for a little bit. I think it won't hurt anything. So I think they might be experiencing some things like that. And also, like if it's Venus, like Venus in Cap, Venus conjunct Neptune transit and conjunct Uranus transit can bring like crazy relationship energy, like to where people might be a little more experimental with relationships, or they might get a little bit lost. I know Capricorn is not an energy to get lost, but still they might get a little dreamy about things. And I don't know. I think it's just bringing out more of that. What was that?
Yeah, I said I've definitely been experiencing that as far as getting lost and dreaming and just random. I mean, I haven't really experienced any random relationships pop up, but I'm feeling their influence. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially because Uranus and Neptune energy, they look outward at other people who are different from them, and they're like, a little curious about that. So some of the people that have those planets and they're having the transits right now, they might start looking at, if they don't usually date outside of their race, for example, they might be like, I don't know, I'm starting to dig this person that's from like the other side of the world, so I don't know, those are things that might come up.
Cool. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, my turn, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neptunian people getting lost. Hello. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. So you have like mutable energy, like you have your Gemini energy, 12th house energy that likes to just kind of do its own thing and kind of bounce around to different things whenever it feels like it. So with those energies strong, do you ever get annoyed with, it's like you have those energies strong, but then you also have your earth energy with like Taurus rising and your Capricorn moon. Do your energies ever get annoyed with each other? Do you ever get annoyed with like a certain part of yourself? Like, gosh, I wish I could be more stable, or like, what, the stable part of you is like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like my mind is going all over the damn place. Like I'm an idiot. Like, do you ever get annoyed with yourself because of those conflicting energies?
That is a beautiful question, especially because like I live this every day. Like between my moon and my sun, that's the main beef. Like my Capricorn moon has outright said, I don't like you, Gemini. Like I literally hear my own subconscious hating on me, like objectively and literally talking about all the ways I'm not shit, basically. Like, oh, I have all this great plans and work for you, all this stuff that requires patience, and you're out here trying to be a goofy comedian laughing and stuff. And then my Gemini sun doesn't like my Capricorn moon because it tries to restrict the freedom. So it's just like a teenage kid mouthing off at an elderly person, and they just can't get along. And Saturn's involved too, so it's like a serious hatred actually within my soul that I have to deal with. It's kind of crazy. The only reason why they get along is because they share the same vessel. Like I've heard my Capricorn be like, "Yeah, you're lucky we're in the same body, or else I would have killed you like a long time ago." Like this is the demented like ramblings I go on in my head. Like as far as really, it's I like it because it's helped me externalize the energy and understand it a lot more. I know the Capricorn side will draw on the other Earth and work with the Taurus, and I really like that you asked that too, because that Earth side is like the seat of my psychic power, but because I'm a Gemini sun, I don't necessarily harness it the right way. So it's like my Capricorn side will get mad because it's like I have all this power, but instead of using it for what I guess it should be used, I'm using it for trivial things. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, I wish you were a Cancer or a Taurus. Then you'd be serious about that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like the conflict I go through. I think since also the moon is 8 signs away from my sun, I have to deal with my emotions blocking my conscious expression at times. Like I'll just feel eclipsed at moments. But yeah, that's a really good question. I think the 12th house duality helps, but since it's in a fixed sign, I could feel like stuck there in my own fantasy and delusion, like forever. But it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really great question. But yeah, to just recap that, yeah, my moon in Capricorn does not like me. Like, yeah, it's one of my most favorite positions too. But it's like, oh yeah, when you get your Saturn return back, I'm gonna take over your soul. So just wait
my
there.
gosh, yeah, just wait. That's cool.
All right, so would you rather? And I know the answer to this really depends more on who you vibe with, but would you rather, how would you rank the water signs in terms of spiritual and psychic prowess? Not necessarily like who's better at being a psychic, like is a Cancer better than a Pisces, but how would you describe like how the Scorpio is at psychic ability, and then the Cancer, and then the Pisces? Like, do they have their own focus, or would you go to one for a certain type of reading and then another one for like a certain type of awareness in that sense?
Well, I do think that they each utilize their psychic energies differently. I think that Cancer, first of all, I think they mainly keep it more to themselves and with amongst like their loved ones and their family members, people that they care about. They use it more to like pick up on the little details about, is someone okay? You know, are they okay? Do they need anything? Like little, like everyday needs, like, are they hungry? Are they thirsty? You know, what is a gift that they like for their birthday? And they're able to find the most personal gifts, I found, like out of all the signs. You know, Cancers will pick up on all those little details, but they only use it like in the everyday, like mundane life type of things to care for people. But Scorpio is a little more complicated with their energy. I think they keep it to themselves a lot too, probably even more than Cancer. Cancer will at least outwardly express it to their people in their shell, you know, people in their circle they're comfortable with. Scorpio, I think they keep it, yeah, I think they keep it a lot more to themselves. I think they use the knowledge probably more for their own selves than any of the other water signs. Like they use it to strategize, you know, they use it to plot and strategize. And it's not that we're all evil and we're just like, you know, trying to find things out to like to kill you. It's like we use it for like protection of ourselves. It's more of like an, you know, it is more kept in, like for protection of ourselves. Like we pick up on things about people that's like the dark side of a person, you know, the little dark things about them that they try to hide. Like Lord have mercy, I'm in an interview. Sorry. Good Lord.
It happens.
And it's a block call. No thanks. I'm a Scorpio. I don't answer those. Anyway, so yeah, Scorpios, they pick up on the things that people try to hide about themselves that are I turned it off. It's off anyway. Oh my God, I answered it. Lord have mercy. Okay. Let me start again. Are you sure you're not going to edit this? Because that is some old BS.
Right, the block call one.
Yeah, right when I'm talking about Scorpio. Anyway, so Scorpios pick up on the little subtle details about people that they try to hide about themselves, especially like if someone's a liar, if someone is more prone to deception. We pick up on those things a lot more easier than like how Cancer picks up on, oh, are you hungry or thirsty? Oh, we don't care about that. We want to know, are you somebody that's going to be like scandalous and try to pull one over on us? Are you going to be someone who is, you know, really out to hurt us or someone that we love? Like we pick up on that very easily. And so that's how we use Scorpio energy uses their psychic ability. But Scorpio is also a very healing sign, you know, as all the water signs are. So it's not like it can only be used for that and for like detective work and like, you know, figuring out people's passwords and stuff. It's not just all about that. It's, you know, we can really sense the pain of another person and teach them how to transform it. And actually, since Scorpio is all about like flushing out the toxic in your life, you know, we can help people to do that and totally just say, you know what, you need to cut this off out of your life because it's not good for you. So Scorpio is good with that. Pisces picks up on Pisces kind of hard to explain. Pisces picks up on, I think, the good and the bad, everything. But we come from a sense of more like wanting to help, more wanting to help others. We're more concerned about others like on a broader scale, I think, than even Cancer, you know, like on the world, you know, like that's why Pisces people, we can't watch the news because we just get so upset, even if it's somebody we don't know. You know, Cancers are concerned about people that they know, but Pisces is like, oh my God, there was bombs going off in this other country and people are dying. Like, oh my God, you know, so we're concerned about the world, you know, so like we're someone you can come to that sees everything and we're not afraid to like really help even strangers, you know, that's kind of something that we do to a default. Like we might notice something about a stranger and really want to help them, you know, and be taken advantage of, unfortunately. But anyway, to answer your question, yeah, each one of the water signs does utilize their psychic energies differently, but they can all at the same time be used for healing people and for helping people. But they're not always like expressed the same. Can you still see me? Because my thing is telling me that I'm not visible. Okay.
No, yeah, we could see you.
Okay, cool.
I really, to kind of to add on to that, like, I really respect the wisdom that water signs have as far as that, you know, as a Gemini, like, want to express everything, even things that kind of should be kept hidden. That's where like that wisdom of a Scorpio comes in. Like they know they shouldn't even say what they psychically get because it's not your time to know, or, you know, they just don't want you to know that they know. So that's when I get mad at them, when certain things happen and they're like, oh yeah, I already knew that. And it's like, you couldn't mention it, you couldn't say it, like what the hell? And they're like, no, why would I do that? And then we just like, oh.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I've been told that a lot by loved ones, like, because, you know, I'm really into transits and prediction astrology. And I look at the transits of loved ones like all the time, and they probably think I'm weird for that. But at the same time, I'll be like, you know what? Like, for example, one day, like my husband went to play basketball with some work buddies, and I knew that it was like some Sun and Mars or something was going on very, very intensely and masculine, and like the potential to be very angry and result in conflict that day for him. And I was going to say something in the morning, but I was like, nope, his Capricorn rising is going to dismiss it and say it's bullshit. So I didn't say anything. Then he comes home, babe, guess what? We were playing basketball and we broke out in a big old fight on the court.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, damn, maybe I should have said something. And he's like, why didn't you say anything? And I'm like, because I don't know. Like I wanted to, first of all, you would have dismissed it. Second of all, even if you wouldn't have dismissed it, I don't know. Sometimes you kind of got to let people experience things for themselves. Like we can't always save everybody. That's something that is a struggle with water signs sometimes too. It's like we can't always save everybody, even with the information that we know and we have. You got to kind of let people live out things and learn things and let their own free will kind of decide what direction to go, you know. So to answer your, I mean, you know, adding on to what you just said about like, why didn't you tell me if you know? Yeah, that's kind of why, you know, sometimes it's either like we're afraid someone will be too skeptical and shoot it down and not listen anyway, or, you know, it's not really for you to know. You got to kind of experience it for yourself.
I noticed sometimes Scorpio would pretend to be the bad guy. Like they're not even the bad guy, but they would much rather you think they are the villain just so you could do what you have to do, even if it means you find out later that they were helping you or something like that.
Yeah. I don't like to always admit all the Scorpion secrets, but yeah, no, that is, I can speak for Scorpio rising and Scorpios, and that is true. I would agree with that. We do kind of, it's like, you gonna learn today. That's one of our sayings. You gonna learn today, and we're just gonna let it happen, let you learn.
Sweet. All right. We got how much? One more
last question.
Yep.
All right. Well, how are you doing right now with transits hitting your north node? I think the sun is on your north node right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing with them? And there's going to be more transits to your north node. Do you have any plans? Do you even look ahead like that at transits, say, you know what, when this transit's happening, I think I'm going to try and do this, to use the energy? Or do you ever do stuff like that?
No, because I'm way too lazy. But when I do, that's about the only thing that's stopping me, just like pure laziness. But I will like look at certain transits out in the future, and like Jupiter and Libra, I'm looking forward to that a lot. But as far as the North Node transit, I'm definitely feeling it. I notice anytime I have context to the South or North Node, it generally has to do with me like performing, whether hip hop or actually doing more work and whatnot. So these North Node contacts that I've had, I've been really, it's been making me aware of the work that I've been doing to reach out to people in my community. And I'm starting to see, someone just shared a cipher that I was in. So I'm starting to see like my persona get more recognition and popularity during this short transit. So I definitely do notice that. But that's a really great question, because I feel this go around is going to be a bit different. I feel like there's going to be something really karmic that I feel coming up. And it's not until you asked me that question just now that it kind of made sense to me that my North Node in 10th house is being activated, which is why. But at least in general, like, knowing that my 10th house is occupied right now, I'm going to be putting out more content and just seeing how that differs than when it's in the 4th house and whatnot. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to change. Like I want to make sure I'm at least 6 months ahead as far as transits go, so I know what I'm expecting and I know what's going on. I think more the Gemini side of me likes to be surprised, so I willingly don't look at transits so I could be like, oh wow, because there's a certain magic that comes in when it's happening in the moment, and then I look at the transit and then it's like, oh, this is happening, wow, this makes sense. But yeah, I'm definitely transitioning to due to the nature of the content I'm gonna make, I kind of have to look forward now and just kind of and honestly, I'm really remembering that's where the fun in astrology is too. Just kind of looking in the future and seeing, oh my goodness, like I thought we were going through it now, but there's squares and trines and yada yada coming up and whatnot. But yeah, as far as the North Node contact, I've really been focused a lot on my true destiny as far as like who I'm meant to be. So it's interesting. I didn't really think about it like that, but yeah, it's totally because of this transit that I'm even more so obsessed with this. But I guess my last question for you would be, what are the 3 zodiac signs that give you the most challenge, and what are the 3 zodiac signs that you enjoy the most?
Well, that is a great question. I mean, I'm not going to be corny and say I love everyone, every sign, but there are great things about every sign. There are annoying things about every sign. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
As far as me and my personal life, I mean, this has nothing to do with if I give readings to people, I'm going to pick on them just because they're a certain sign and give them a bad reading. It's nothing like that. It's more like, if someone's right in front of me, who is more challenging for me? Like, what energy clashes with me the most? That's what it's about. And the top 3 signs, I would have to say, I'm sorry, but Gemini, Aries,
Oh yeah.
and mm, the third one is tough. I'm gonna have to say Capricorn. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's only because um, Gemini and Aries are like, I have like 4 planets in Taurus, like 4 personal planets. Gemini and Aries are like sign before and sign after me. So the sign before you and sign after you will always challenge you the most, I've found. Like you're the most different from them. You don't have anything in common, you know. So I'm a Taurus. I like to take my time. Gemini and Aries want to rush me or interrupt me. So, you know,
You
it
push your button so much.
oh my gosh. Yeah, let me tell you, and I have both energies very strong within my household and my in-laws. So it's not always easy to deal with, but you know what? It's like they bring me the most challenges, but I learn a lot from them at the same time, you know, on a positive note. Like they can help me kick me in my ass, make me like hurry up or, you know, think fast or, you know, multitask. And those are challenges for me, but they push me to do those things. And as far as Capricorn, you know, like I said, it was hard for me to pick the third one, but if I had to pick one, I guess Capricorn, just because of the like eternal skepticism of Capricorn, and you know, I have horns too. I'm a Taurus, but like Capricorn has horns. They're stubborn too, and like it's just
Mhm.
really hard for me as a Pisces moon to explain a lot of things without them looking at me like I'm the biggest idiot on the planet and wanting to lecture me and school me, like, you
Oh
know.
my
And
God, Capricorn lectures.
yes, I can't stand them, you know. I also have Uranus in my first house and opposing all of my personal planets, so I'm very much like a rebel too. Like, don't try to tell me what to do, Mr. Capricorn. Like, I'm not stupid here. I think I know already. That's what Uranus will tell you. I already know this, okay? Like, I don't need a lecture. So that's what Capricorn can be challenging, but I still love them. You guys are sarcastic and funny, and it's all good.
Yeah.
As far as the ones I get along with the most, I'd have to say Pisces is very easy. Um, what else? I thought I had the answers like that, but I guess not. Pisces is very easy for me to get along with. Leo, Leo can be kind of challenging, but I absolutely love Leos, and I don't know, they're attracted to me for some reason. Maybe because of my midheaven or fifth house moon, but yeah, Leos are cool with me most of the time. And Sagittarius is like one of my favorite energies to get along with. They're always so sunny and happy, and I could be very pessimistic and, you know, stuck on things a lot. And they're just like, everything is awesome. That's like their theme song in life. So then I can get down with that, like, okay, you know, I'll try to think that way too. So yeah, those are the signs that I get along with the easiest, like personally.
This is a great record. This is like 24 episodes in, and I think this is one of the first episodes that Virgo didn't make the shit list of like the top 3 most hated. So this
I
is
guess so. Yeah, and
like
I
every
actually love
episode.
Virgos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually love Virgos. They came in very close. If you would have said top 5, Virgo would have been in my top 5 because they're hilarious. To me, they are. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know everybody that hates Virgos because they see all, man. Just like Pisces, but like on a different scale. They see all the details, the good and the bad, and they're not afraid to tell you about it. That's their thing. Pisces will be nice about it, but Virgo will be like,
Killjoy.
they'll be like, no, what's that dirty sock right there? You didn't cut your nails. Like, oh my God, you're disgusting because you haven't cut your eyebrows or had them waxed in like 2 months. Girl, get your life. Oh my God.
I think I could totally resonate with the fun. If it wasn't my fifth house, oh my gosh, I probably would hate them. But all this, all the stuff that I would hate about Virgo, since it's in my fifth house, I love and appreciate. It's really funny, like you said. I just find like brightness and humor in it. I guess the perception I have of it, I get to see it in a doper angle or something like that. But
Yeah, same
yeah,
here. They're in my 11th house, so I love Virgos as friends. They make me laugh my ass off.
that's awesome. Hell yeah. I guess to close, we could yeah, do you have any advice for any aspiring spiritualists or people who want to get into this? And also, how can people contact you if they want a reading? Do you offer any services right now? Yeah.
Yes, I do offer readings by request if you send an email to me. It's too bad our little lower third thing wasn't working because it's on there. But Pisces Moon Astrologer all together at gmail.com. I do offer personal readings and consultations. I do look at career, romance, relationships, money. I look at it all, honey. So hit me up if you want a reading. I believe my prices are reasonable. But also, what advice do I have? You know what? Honestly, I'm still barely getting out there myself, but what I've learned and what I'm learning still that I can tell other people is don't let anything that anybody tells you get to you. Like, don't let no one get you down. I know that's kind of corny to say, but seriously,
It's
like,
true.
it's true. There's a lot of skeptics and there's people that'll leave like evil, stupid comments, and you might get some stalkers, or I don't know if that's just me because I'm a Scorpio rising, but you might get weirdos. You might get all kinds of people if you put yourself out there as being someone who's involved in something that's so like unique and occult, you know, so to speak. And you'll get like religious buffs telling you that you're evil and all this stuff. But you know what? If you know in your heart that you're doing something that is truly just wanting to like help people, and you're doing it for a positive reason, then you don't have anything to worry about with anything that they say. So that's the best advice that I can give. Just keep on keeping on, man.
Sweet, beautiful advice. Thank you once again for joining me in this call. This was super awesome. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'm so honored. I've been watching your show forever, and I'm like, one day, one day.
Hell yeah, I'm glad it was sooner than later. And yeah, make sure you guys hit her up for the chart. Like I said, she read my chart. It was phenomenal. I walked away with a lot that I wasn't even sure of. I know you mentioned some asteroids too that got me like researching. So yeah, until next time, y'all. Peace.